Oh, I never took it off. So you can see it. Good. Okay, so I have my server. Let me get my PDF up. And we'll go through the apt-get next. Okay. 1 second here. Okay, the next section of your Ubuntu server guide is the apt-get. Just reading through it, is the apt-get command is a very powerful command line tool which works with the Ubuntu Advanced Package tool, performing such functions as installing new software packages, upgrading existing software packages, updating the package list, and even upgrading the entire Ubuntu system. And we will be going through those different steps today to sort of practice with that. Being a simple command line tool, apt-get has numerous advantages over the package management tools available in Ubuntu for server administrators. Some of these advantages include the ease of use over simple terminal connections, and the ability to be used in system administrator scripts, which can in turn be automated by the cron scheduling utility. When we're connecting remotely, which we'll be doing 2 weeks from now, oftentimes we have just a command line interface. It's faster. It's exceedingly fast because there's nothing that's dragging across the screen, across the network, even across the WAN. We're seeing the screen, we're typing in command and doing it. So that's where commands get very, very efficient. Now, the downside of any kind of command line interface is you have to memorize the commands. You just have to know what they are. But hopefully, if you're sort of familiar with them, you start of knowing what you're looking for. If you haven't documented somewhere, it's just a matter of typing in the commands. Like they also set up on scripting. All of you are taking PowerShell scripting and stuff like that, and scripting is a good thing. If you know how to do it, yes, that's the important part. But with that, you can actually take all these commands and then, like they even said, automate them. So if I want something to happen on a regular basis, I can do these different things. I can check for an update on a regular basis. I can, do whatever. The end of this chapter does talk about automated updates. We're not going to get into that. If you want to explore, practice, they have it all documented right there. Just sort of follow through. I'm just trying to keep this very high level so we don't get too bogged down. I want you to learn the basics, installing and removing stuff. apt-get is really, really nice. Let's see, moving down. Some examples of popular uses for the apt-get utility is to install a package. By far the most common reason to use apt-get is to install a package. What's nice about that is it does do the downloading and the installation. In the manual, the user guide, they use the example of installing nmap, and we're going to end up installing it and removing it a couple times today. But sudo and then apt-get. And we don't have to remember the -i. It is in fact typing out install and then the package we want. So we do have to know the package name that we're working with. So in this case, I'm going to apt-get install nmap, and I hit enter. It's going to ask you for the password for Paul B. Paul B, while it's asking for the password for that, it's not root, but it's able to run as root. And so you can, by default, the very first user you set up, which in fact is your name in this case, becomes that root equivalent type of account. That didn't come out quite right. You kind of get it. If I create additional users, you will not be able to do that as additional users unless you go under account management and change those users to have that access. So you're able to enter passwords, the sudo password as those other accounts. Okay, so if you use the default, which we suggested in class, is password, you can see that it's reading the package list and then downloading it. And then it always comes up, do you want to continue? It's just like in Windows, the little dialog box comes up and says, do you want to install this? Now by the time like, oh no, this isn't the one I want, you just hit no. So you hit N and then hit enter. The defaults, whenever you're working with these interfaces, are the capital letters. So Y is capital, so that means you do not have to hit Y and then hit enter. Just hitting enter by itself is the same as selecting that default. So it's fetching it, and it's getting it from usarchiveubuntu.com. and it's done. So it's actually installed. Now I can look at the packages, and I could use the package tool from before, the Debian package tool, and do a -L and see that that's installed now and listed. The second purpose for using apt-get is to remove a package. It's kind of apt-get to remove is just sort of the opposite reverse process of it. Instead of the -R, like I use in the Debian package, I use the remove command. So again, I do need to use sudo, and then apt-get remove, and then nmap is the package that I was actually going to remove. And by hitting enter on there, it says the following package was automatically installed. It's using this. Well, it says actually apt-get auto remove to remove them. But do you want to continue? Yes, I do want to continue. And remove it. And it's gone. So it's pretty simple. It does have the nice graphical screen showing the little bar going across, like how far you are or whatever. But it does get the job done. Okay, the next thing is kind of important. The apt package, update the package index, or the apt package index, is essentially a database of available packages from the repositories. Now, we talked about, I think Mark Coogan mentioned, it's one place for dumping all of the code or packages for different projects. Is there just one place to do this? No, there's not. There's lots and lots and lots and lots. Now there's some common ones and some default ones built into some of these systems, but they are listed. There's an actual list in the etc apt sources.list file, and that's going to tell you where all those repositories are. Yes? In this case, this is the installation of Ubuntu, so Ubuntu manages those. So they're part of the canonical stuff, and when they install the server, those are the things that those are what they're pointing to. Now they don't necessarily manage all those repositories; they just manage the list of repositories that come by default. You can add additional repositories. Say you're working with a specific vendor or a specific, whole project. They might have their own repositories for their own systems. Now again, it's a whole list though on your computer. So as you add them and then you click for looking for updates or upgrading, it's going to go through all of those lists for all of your packages. So it's going to keep track of all of that. So it's not just one or the other or whatever. It's going to look through all of them looking for updates. And when you say I want to install a package, it's going to look through all the default ones or the pre-built, the preloaded ones, and all the additional ones saying, oh, these are all the things you can install. Or when I do an apt-get install and I type a package name, it's going to go through all those. It's going to look for a package name in all those repositories. If you can't find it, it's going to say I can't find one. So then you either to manually do it, let the David install, download the .deb file, or you find out the repository that it is located in, and you add it to that lists file. And I don't want to get into that today. I'm just not going to. But we're going to use the standard packages on our server, but that's what you would do. And that's where you do it. Questions on that? Does it make sense? Kind of? Yes.
So this is pretty much points you to where that package is at?
That list points for different repositories. It's a repository list. So repository A has these packages in it. Well, actually, it doesn't even know that. It just says, here's repository A, here's repository B, here's repository C. So it's just pointing to a location out on the internet.
Yes.
So someplace out there is repository A. I'm a developer. I have this really cool package. I need to put this somewhere so people can easily get it. Now, I could just write the .deb file and hope people download it, install it. It's just not recommended to do it that way on the users, on the server side. So you want to be able to get it into that mainstream, and you do that by getting into those repositories. So I want mine. A very, very rough similarity is Anybody familiar with downloads.com? Nobody? It's by CNET. Okay, let's take a look at that real quick.
That's not a C mode.
CNET. If you go to downloads.com, it's actually download.cnet.com. Anybody?
I found everything.
A couple people? Okay. And you can search for pretty much anything. Camera. And it's going to find different programs. It's supposed to be related to cameras.
All in one keylogger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure how that comes up with camera.
That's what I want.
Let's use a different example. Download Windows software, and we'll do... Is there another... Oh, here we go. I might have to search the one place. Let's do FTP. That's going to look under the Windows environment, and it's going to find all kinds of FTP software. Now, I could do a general search on the internet, or I could hope to find a vendor that does this. This is just one place that if you're running something, people are apt to get to. And so if you just put your stuff on this site, and then there's user reviews and publisher reviews, that kind of stuff. It's very, very roughly the same, kind of the same, dealing with repositories of an application or of a package. I want to get on a repository. Then people can install it right from the command line. It goes out to the repository, grabs it, downloads it, and then installs it on my computer.
Can anybody do that?
There's controls. Each repository is controlled by somebody or something. Just like here on this download, CNET controls it, which is, by the way, a very large IT publisher. They have CNET News. They have all kinds of publishing, magazines under there. So if I just can't upload stuff to here. I'd have to send it to them. They check it out, verify it. Same thing with repositories, because repositories have that whole dependency stuff that they're working with. Is it documented the way that they wanted to or whatever? And as long as you get into one of those, it's a real fast and easy installs then. Probably a better example, even than this, is actually the Android and iOS markets. I'm just going to use the iPod as an example. I'm not promoting them over anything else, but I go to the store or the App Store. I can install other things on my device, much more difficult manner, but going through there, if I can get it onto that store, if I'm a developer, I put it on the store, then people just search for it. They can download very easily and quickly.
Well, that was exactly what I was thinking, because with Apple,
Mm-hmm.
Macintosh pretty much has full control of it.
Sure.
Whereas Google, they don't. They usually just put out their, third-party applications.
The same thing with what's it called? Google Play.
Yeah.
Google Play. I can't create something and load it up to Google Play. It still goes to them. They still have to verify it and then put it out there. They might have different regulations, maybe less stringent or something like that, but people can't freely upload to Google Play. Just arbitrarily upload to them. You submit it to them for review, and then they put it there. Now, the difference with repositories compared to Google Play and the Apple Store is that when I click under available applications, all I see is what Google puts out there, or all I see is what Apple puts out there. It'd be almost like going into the Google Play and being able to say, oh, in addition to the Google Play repository, I also add this repository, this repository, this repository from known, trusted makers of Android apps. And now when I click on the Google Play button, it's going to show all of the Google stuff and all of the other people that I trusted. And I click on it, and it automatically installs. So it's like a multi-store connections. Yeah? No? Good. It's like a one world repository. No, there isn't. That's why I have lots of them. And all the stuff we're working with, there's lots of repositories that we're looking at already. They're very controlled and very systematic, but you can add additional ones on there or get rid of ones. Even within the Ubuntu world, You can look at and look for updates and look for installs on the fully supported and completely open source products. So those are the only things I ever want on my system, are fully supported and completely up to date, type systems. Then you can also add. I also want to include the repositories that include applications that aren't fully supported. That means if something goes wrong with it, we're not going to help you with it. You sort of figure it out on your own. Now, since we're not paid customers, we're in that boat anyway, and you just sort of get extra features. There's also a third-party repositories. And again, you can check these on and off by saying, I want to include third-party repositories that may include licensed products. So something that you need a license for. Now, it could be a free license or it could be a paid license. And some people are saying, hey, that's not a problem. I want Ubuntu as my desktop operating system, but I don't mind paying for some of my applications on there. And so for the supported, integrated, third-party applications, I'm going to do that. It's, again, using the iPod, Android examples, I can just choose in the Apple Store only the free stuff. I don't want any paid stuff on here, or I don't mind paying, something for a couple of things. Like VMware.
You can app-get
That I don't know. Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. You get VMware 9? Okay. We're going to do VM tools later on. We'll get to that, but right now, I'll have to check that out. app-get VM9. That would be interesting. That probably just gives you the evaluation, and then you have to enter the key. Then you just go out and purchase it. Then.
Well, I was wondering. I don't want to drag this
No.
out, but I know there's a lot of companies, not necessarily here in the U.S., but like in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really use Windows because of license fees.
Sure. Absolutely.
And they only pay for the whatever it is they need.
Correct.
VM, it's now pretty popular because
Mm-hmm.
everything's virtualized.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our servers and even desktops are Linux-based, and they
Mm-hmm.
run virtual machines.
Sure.
All you have to do is just buy the license for VM.
If you're running VMware Workstation, absolutely. We're giving it. There's other free virtualization tools. In fact, there's one on Ubuntu server. What is it? Chapter 20 is virtualization, so you can virtualize there. I did some teacher exchanges in Germany. First, the teacher exchange, we did student exchanges back and forth. The Germany schools, at least the ones I went to, use a lot of Linux and a lot of open source stuff. They just don't have or want that whole encumbrance of licenses and even rolling things out, just keeping track of all that stuff. As we're sitting at the lab in here, I just see all the different softwares we install and different licenses and how do you get this to work, and then we have to go in and change the keys and whatever. This is a lot of, and this is a whole layer that's gone. And you can give it to students, and it's much more embraced there, at least in the educational world, than here. Okay, moving on. Let's go back to our servers and our apt-get. So we did apt-get install nmap, and then we removed nmap. Okay, we talked about the packages, the index. It's essentially a database of available packages from the repositories. Sometimes they get updated, but we don't get updated, so we want to update that list. Now, we have two commands here. There's another one command after that, which is upgrade packages. Over time, updated versions of packages currently installed on your computer may become available from the repositories. Again, that's sort of similar to Windows updates for their drivers. To upgrade your system, first update your packages and then do an upgrade. Update and upgrade are a little confusing. They sort of seem like the same thing. If you really think through it, though, it does make sense. Updating a list is sort of like updating your address list or your Christmas list. I'm just giving the current list of things. Updating is different than upgrading. I'm upgrading my system. When you think of upgrading, you're actually changing the software. So write that down somewhere, keep track of it. Update and upgrade are different. I'm updating the list in order to do upgrades on my packages. You do have to do them separately. You know, if I just did a sudo upgrade, it's going to say, oh, really, nothing's new. Well, actually, it probably would find something. But because the lists haven't been updated, so I want to do a sudo apt-get update to update those lists first. And you can see it go do its thing. And it's done. So it finished updating the list, and now I can do an upgrade. Sudo apt-get upgrade. And again, because the Y is capital, I can just hit the enter key on there. Or you can hit Y and enter, either way. Anyways, let it do its thing. Actually, have to get back to my And I probably, just for class purposes, should have just shown you that instead of actually done it. It's done now, though. So it's not anything terrible, but it can take a few minutes. I'm sorry?
That was the update?
That was the upgrade.
Or upgrade, alright.
That was the upgrade. I did the update first to update the lists within the repositories.
I got you.
And now I did the upgrade. It went back out and says, hey, this is new, and those are the upgrades it did. Okay. There's a couple ways of doing this. Okay. Actually, we're going to finish going through the user guide first, the Ubuntu server guide, the PDF file, and then I'll introduce the other stuff later on.
That's the end of it.
What's that?
So we're going to do chapter 4.
No, that's not the end yet. We still have aptitude. We didn't do aptitude yet. Aptitude. Okay. Launching aptitude with no command line options will give you a menu-driven text-based front end to the advanced package tool, the APT system. That's what you get the apt-get for the advanced packaging tool. Many of the common package management functions, such as installation, removal, and upgrade, can be performed in aptitude with a single key commands, which are typically lowercase. It's best suited in a non-graphical terminal environment to ensure proper functioning of the command keys. You may start the menu-driven interface of aptitude as a normal user by typing the following command. Okay, so let's type in sudo aptitude. And you can navigate with this. It gets a little tricky. Okay. You can see upgradable packages. So it still thinks there's 3 packages that are upgradable. There's 371 installed packages, and there's 59,000 in packages that I could install right now just by selecting them off a list. And that's only based on my current list of repositories. If I listed some more repositories in my repository list, that list will be longer because it's going to look through all of them. Virtual packages, I guess they're really not there. I don't know, 7,500 of them, and then 35,000 tasks that I can actually function with. I use the arrow key to navigate up and down. And then you have all the little menu things across the top. You have question mark for help, Q for quit, so it's just like I want to get out of here, I just hit Q for quit, U for update, G gets to download, install, or remove packages. So I think to give an example here, to install a package, locate the package via the not install package category by pressing the arrow keyboards and then hitting enter. So I want to install something. So I have to go to things that aren't installed, and I hit enter. These are going to be different categories it's going to come with next. I don't think they give a specific example. Highlight the desired package and press the plus key. The package entry should turn green, indicating it's been marked for installation. Now press G to be presented with a summary of the package actions. Press G again, and you'll be prompted to become the root. And then press enter, which will result in a password prompt. Enter your password, become root. Finally press G once more, and you'll be prompted to download the package. Press enter on the continue prompt, and downloading and installing the package will commence. I really like the apt-get command. It's just sort of right there. I don't have to, it's kind of confusing. So let's just find something. Documentation and specialized programs for viewing documentation. So that might be a good category, just basically viewing items. I hit enter on there, and it opens up a couple of the categories again. Fully supported free software, unsupported non-free software, or unsupported free software. That's what I started talking about before, the different types of software. I don't mind paying for it, so I might go there. Or no, I want fully supported free, nothing else is going in my system. I hit enter again, and these are different applications. AntDoc, LP2-2. Let's do AppDoc. And now this is where I hit the plus sign, and it turns green. Even just remembering that's kind of confusing because that's not listed anywhere on that little menu up on top. And then I hit G. I need to press G again to have it do whatever it's supposed to do. And then press return to continue. It should have actually asked me for my root password, and it didn't. It must have just done it. But apparently that's all it did. Just installed it. To remove a package, it's kind of the reverse direction. So I want to hit uninstalled packages, see what's down here. All these are different categories. Let's see if I can find that one. I did not practice this ahead of time. That was bad of me. Fully supported software, and then is the app doc, which I installed. In this case, I want to hit the minus key instead of the plus key. Is that the one I chose? Apt doc, right? I thought I did. Okay. I hit the minus key, and then you do need to hit the G for it to actually do what you told it to do. So plus is for adding or installing, and then minus is for removing. So I hit G, and then I just need to do it again. G again. So it says right down there, removing app doc. Press enter to continue. It's like a really bad implementation of installed programs under control panel. But it's there. What's nice is that this is text-based still, more or less. It's not command line, but it's text-based. So again, if you're doing remote connections, many remote connections in the Linux world, the Unix world, are not graphical. You're not going to have a graphical environment. So if you like using menus and actually looking through those things, you can do this. Otherwise, just use the commands. What is really, really nice about this, though, it tells you what packages are available. The apt-get, you just have to know the package name. It doesn't tell, well, which text editor is available out there. Well, at least this does tell you that. So I can go not installed, and then I can look under text editors. Here we go, editors. Fully supported free. And in fact, he talked about Emacs. That was his, I believe. There's all kinds of stuff underneath there. Kate, LibreOffice. See if you want to install LibreOffice. This is the place that you can do that as well. Down the bottom, underneath sort of the second half of the screen, it shows what that thing is. LibreOffice is a full-featured Office productivity suite that provides a near drop-in replacement for Microsoft Office.Ledit is a line editor, allowing to use control commands like in Emacs or in shells, bash, and so on. Okay, let me see what else is in our aptitude. Update the package index. Again, that's updating it. To update the package index, simply press the U key, and you'll be prompted to come to root and complete the update. Press enter, and then it'll be actually updating the list. So let me click back in here. I just did a U for update. That's the same thing as apt-get update. And that's a lowercase u. And if I do the uppercase U, that's the same as upgrade. And it'll do the upgrade all the packages. And that is the main part of aptitude. Of how to interact with it for the text-based menu system. A couple things when you're looking at these lists. On the next page in your documentation, it talks about the first column information displayed in the package. Will actually show you the status of that package, whether it's installed, it's not installed, whether it's purged, if it's a broken package, and so on. You can use aptitude and command line interface as well, which would be very similar to the apt-get. Such an example of installing nmap again with all the necessary dependencies. You'll just use the same command. Here, let me quit this. Q for quit. Really quit? Yes. And just so we did nmap to begin with, I did sudo aptitude install nmap. So if you want that full functionality and remember just the one command, apt2 is the same as apt-get. I can do the same thing with remove. And I can remove it. So, we good with that? So if we need to install packages, we can do that. If we told you the package name, or at least be able to find it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. Okay, I want to add a couple things that aren't in the book. This is where, let's see. Okay, working with VMware tools. There's a couple ways of installing VMware tools. One is right from the VMware host, which is just like we talked about. We normally do that. So under Windows, VMware tools gets installed, or any other operating system. You can do it that way, but it actually uses the DPKG, the Debian Package Manager, they call it. So it's a rough manager, and then writes the files directly to the system. That type of installation is just typically not recommended. There's another way, which is actually using the apt-get. Out on the repository, starting with Ubuntu 12, which is what we have, VMware tools have been uploaded to that core repositories that comes with Ubuntu. So if you want to install VMware tools, we can do a sudo apt-get install, remember the install command, and then what we want to install, the package name, is open VM tools. This is the open source variant of the VMware tools. And I click enter on there, and it says the following extra packages will be installed, and tells you their suggested packages and the new packages.
Did you scroll up? Wait, forget it. I'm seeing it.
Sudo apt-get
Yeah.
install, and then the package name is open VM tools. And if we use aptitude, we will be able to browse and find it. I'm not sure what category it'd be under, maybe virtualization or something. But since we know the package name, we can just do it right from the command line. And when we're ready, we just hit enter. You can see it's getting it from us.archive.ubuntu.com. Looking before we did the upgrade, there were several that were being downloaded from security.ubuntu.com, which is, again, was just one of the core repositories that come with the Ubuntu server. Yeah, ultimately. None of this stuff will matter for the future, though. I mean, it's good to have VMware tools. It's going to make your server run better. It actually does some optimization of your processor, your memory, your network, and your video. All those different kinds of things in there.
Shall we take a break again?
Want another break right now? And then get some more stuff. Yeah, why don't we take another break? Let VMware tools finish installing. There's two more things I want to talk about after break, so I guess I'd be kind of rushed anyways. So go ahead and take a break. We'll come back, and we'll finish up with two more topics, or 2 more points.